Hello! In this tutorial, I am going to give you a brief introduction to the library website and the library catalog. So you can find the library's website at www.stetson.edu/law/library. And on the website, you're going to find 2 points of focus. Over on the left-hand side, you're going to find a menu with links out to various information about the library and resources, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. And you're also going to find a quick search box for searching the library catalog. So going through this menu over on the left-hand side, there is also a link to the online catalog here, and I will show you that in a minute. You're going to find information about library services and then an informational directory with contacts for the various librarians, library staff, and departments in the library, as well as our hours. You'll find the collection development policy here. You'll also find a site with all of our databases that we subscribe to and that you have access to as a student, and I'll come back to those in a minute. You'll also find library research guides, and again, I'll talk more about those a little later. You'll find a link to library tutorials, and these are just short videos on how to do legal research, as well as some word-specific tutorials for formatting your appellate brief when you're in RNW 2, so information about inserting your page numbers, creating your table of contents, creating your table of authorities. So those can be really helpful, especially in your first year. You'll also find a link to our faculty research repository. So if you want to find faculty published by the scholarship published by our faculty members, you'll find that here. If you're interested in the history of the school, we do have a digital archives where you can find photos of when the school was the hotel, when it was a military academy, and then also historical photos of the law school, including faculty, alumni, and things like that. There's also information here for recent graduates and alumni. If you find there's an item you need that we do not have access to in our collection, you can place an interlibrary loan and you would use this link for that. If you need to reserve a study room, you'll want to pop over to our room reservations page, and that will let you reserve your room online, and you'll also find the policy about room reservations there. Moving out to the library website, there are a few things I want to talk about in more detail. The first is that online catalog link. Now, while you can search our catalog from that main search box on the home page, if you click on the online catalog link, you're going to have a couple additional pieces of information available to you here. The first is you can do an advanced search from this page rather than just a basic keyword search. So if you need to run a more robust search, you can do that from this page, and you'll also find information about any course reserves that we have. Going back to the home page, the next thing I want to point out is our databases A to Z. So on the databases A to Z page, over on the left-hand side, you'll find an alphabetical listing of all of the databases that we subscribe to and that you have access to as a student. There's also an alphabet bar at the top, so if you want to jump directly down to a database, you can do that. Over on the right-hand side, I also want to point out we do have a quick links box with some of the more popular databases, including Bloomberg, Kelley, Hein, Lexis, and Westlaw. Just to note, Bloomberg, Lexis, and Westlaw all require a unique username and password. Now, you should have received a registration code for Lexis and Westlaw in your 1L year. If you did not register for your account or you did not receive that for some reason, please contact a librarian and we will make sure you get a registration code so you can set up an account. Bloomberg does not require a registration code. You would just go out to the Bloomberg Law website, click Create an Academic Account, and then make sure that you use your Stetson email address when you sign up for that account, and they will email you a password. Next, Kelley. I do want to mention Kelley because these are really helpful lessons on various law school topics. So on this site, you will find tutorials about contracts and property law and criminal law and evidence, and even some of the upper level classes like administrative law and environmental law. And these tutorials can be really helpful, especially when you're struggling maybe with a specific area of that topic, or you want some practice questions during exam time when you're studying for those exams. Kelley does require an authorization code. You just need to contact a librarian and we will send you that code. All of our other databases, including Hein Online, you access using your Stetson username and password, which is the same username and password that you use to access your Stetson email account and things like that. So when you click on one of these databases, you'll be prompted to authenticate. Just enter your username and password, and you should be taken directly into the database, and it will recognize you as one of our users, and you'll have access to the materials within that database. Next, I want to show you those library research guides. And so these guides are curated by the librarians, and on them we have pulled the best the best research resources for researching that topic, as well as some tips and tricks for doing research on a given topic. And most of these are centered around the seminar classes that are offered on campus, but there are some other ones. A few that I want to point out to you. There is a 1L Essentials Guide, which will give you a lot of the information that you need to know about using the library. There's a 50-state guide to free law online. There are, again, these individual topics like adoption law and cyber law and environmental law. And then at the very bottom, we do have a wellness guide. So if you're looking for information about physical or mental health, we've included some helpful links there. We also have, we'll post information about any wellness events that we are offering in the library. And we've also post some fun diversions for you to take a break from your studies, including puzzles and crafts and just some funny videos, some pet videos, some recipes and things like that. All the things that you need to stay well while you're here in law school. And then finally, before we leave this tutorial, I do want to talk to you about using the library's catalog. So you're going to notice some tabs at the top. There's a Search Everything tab, a Search Journals tab, and a Search Articles tab. The Search Everything tab searches our physical collection as well as our online collection. Now, not everything on our online collection can be searched this way, but it does search a good portion of it. So if I was looking for information on water law, I just enter my search terms and click Search. And I can see that I have 32,900 results, and those are right here on the right-hand side. But that's a lot to go through, so you're probably going to want to look at the filters over on the left-hand side to narrow that down a bit. There are a few ones that I want to point out to you. One is retain filters. So if you're running a bunch of searches and you want to keep the filters that you have set for that initial search, check this box. If you want to run your search fresh every single time and create a whole new set of filters with every search, then make sure that box is unchecked. Heading down, another one that's important to pay attention to is the held by library. If you want to see what you have access to as a Stetson student, so what is available in our online collection or our physical collection, make sure that Stetson University College of Law box is checked. If you want to cast a wider net and see what's available at libraries worldwide, you can check that box. And remember, if we don't have access to an item, you may be able to get access to it via an interlibrary loan. Below that, you can narrow by format. So if you're looking for articles or maybe you're looking for a print book, you can check that and that will narrow your results by type, by format type. And then below that, you can narrow by publication year. So maybe if you're looking for just recent information, you want to click the last 5 years, or you can set a specific date range. And then there's some additional ones, including author, subject, database, language, and audience. So those filters can be really helpful in narrowing your results. The next tab is the search journals. So if you have a specific journal that you are searching for, such as the Stetson Law Review, and you're curious if we own it in our collection, just search journals, enter the title of the journal, and click search. Again, I'm going to have my results over on the right-hand side and my same filters over on the left-hand side. And for this entry, you can see it's available at Stetson Law. We actually have it In our physical collection, so if you want to go pull a physical copy of this journal, you can. If we have access to it online, you'll see a link to access the journal. If you click the Access Journal link, you're going to find which databases has that journal and what years. So Hein Online has the Stetson Law Review from 79 to the present, Lexis has it from 94 to the present, and Westlaw has it from 93 to the present. You can decide which database you want to go into, click Access the Journal, and you should be taken directly to that database where that journal is. You may need to log in prior to being able to access it. And then finally, if you want to search articles directly, you can do that. So just click the Search Articles, enter your terms. So if you're looking for information about pet trust, click that. And again, you're going to have your results over on the right-hand side and your filters over on the left-hand side. We can see there's 961 articles. If we have access to it in one of our databases, you will find a View Full Text link. And if you click on that View Full Text link, you should be, again, taken directly into the database where that article is. And remember, though, you may need to log in before being able to go directly into that database. And that's it for this tutorial. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. You can email us, call us, or stop by and see us.